Like Floyd spends money like it's a tap. Like he's got a tap, just like unlimited amount of money. Money's just flowing. And even as much money as he's made in his career, which he's probably made as much, if not more money than any boxer ever. Like there's all these lawsuits. Like he hasn't been paying things, and he owes money on this and owes money on that, and it's like, then he's got to come out of retirement.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah,
that's tough.
He have it, but he really don't have that spark how he was when he was poor, like in it, you know. Like him going back and like fighting and stuff like that. I think that shit.
Whatever could happen if the guy gets beat up by Manny Pacquiao, right? It creates a tough situation. I felt like that was the bigger story. But is Floyd broke? What a stupid question. Are you a stupid person? Of course he's broke. He's a boxer.
Joe Rogan talked about the potential rematch between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao during a discussion with Gervonta Davis. Tank argued that matchups like these today are more about big paydays than pushing boxing forward. In his view, the motivation behind these fights is largely financial rather than focused on improving or growing the sport itself.
Oh, the industry world is just like, it's trash, bro. It's a whole bunch of stuff.
Joe Rogan praised Floyd Mayweather Jr. for staying incredibly active, quick, and disciplined even long after stepping away from professional boxing, pointing out how impressive it is that he continues to keep his body in such remarkable condition despite being retired from the sport.
Puts any in his body, and also that mindset of what he learned when he was incarcerated.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. remains competitive by steering clear of unhealthy habits and maintaining strict discipline, a lifestyle that allows him to preserve his speed, endurance, and sharp reflexes even years after stepping away from professional boxing.
Discipline is everything. Discipline, never knowing you're never going back to that. Don't buy anything stupid. Don't be dumb with your money. Don't be dumb with your body. Take care of yourself. Never get out of shape. Always keep your conditioning up. So when you go into camp, you're not struggling to get back in shape again. You're already in shape. Now you're just working on your skills and honing everything to a razor sharp.
Max Kellerman says Floyd Mayweather Jr. still displays elite defense and impressive speed, and he believes a fight with Manny Pacquiao could still turn out to be an exciting matchup.
No, I think I would have always favored Mayweather to win the fight. The point is that because it happened after its expiration date, we will never have the actual answer. You and I might agree, Mayweather was too long, too good a boxer, naturally bigger guy and better defense. But we will never actually know the answer to that question because we never got to see it 5 years earlier. Now, Shady makes the point, Malik, that this is not like Crawford-Canelo, and it's not. But it's also not exactly like Jake Paul and Mike Tyson.
It's nowhere near
right?
that stuff.
So what is it? What are we? Because Netflix doesn't seem to care if this is more of kind of a carnival or an exhibition, or if it's like the greatest, biggest fight in the world. What they're looking for are eyeballs, right? Where does this fall, Mayweather and Pacquiao, on the most legitimate Crawford-Canelo side of the spectrum, or the kind of sideshow Jake Paul-Mike Tyson side?
Gervonta Davis believes the proposed fight between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao mainly revolves around generating a massive payday rather than serving a competitive purpose in boxing.
He need the money. I'm telling you. Does he
have a chance to win though?
Top Rank ain't playing like that, and they ain't playing like that.
So you don't
see they ain't playing like.
Chael Sonnen argues that the criticism is unnecessary because every professional ultimately works to earn a living, and in his view Floyd Mayweather Jr. continues to fight simply because boxing is still his profession.
Why do you get up every day and go to work? Why are you going to your job next week? Why will you be at your job the week after that? Because you need the money. What's wrong with that? And why are we attempting to tease Floyd? Is Floyd? Yes, he's broke. Of course he's broke. He's a boxer. That they say can't read. That's not to tease him. They say that he can't read. His best friend at the time said that he can't read, and he never denied it. I don't tease him for it. He was a guy who grew up in a boxing channel, right? It's one of these things. You know what you know. You know what you were taught. I didn't teach him about contracts. I didn't teach him about saving. I didn't teach him about investments. Who would have taught him these things? Of course he's broke. He's a gambling addict. got baby mamas all over the. What do you mean? Is he broke? Of course.
Meanwhile, Manny Pacquiao says that winning would inspire the new generation and show younger fighters entering professional boxing the importance of determination, discipline, and ambition.
He's a very good inspiration for the young kids. Not only to all the boxers, but also to the people who have dream. Even though I'm 46, if you're still dreaming in your life, you can make it.
Few things resonate more deeply than watching someone defy the odds and triumph. For many fans, and especially for Filipinos, Manny Pacquiao embodies hope, pride, and the possibility of rising above it all.
During the discussion, Floyd Mayweather Jr. explained that a rematch between him and Manny Pacquiao would not truly damage either fighter's legacy. According to him, both men have already secured their place in boxing history through decades of elite performances and historic victories. He reminded listeners that he clearly won the first fight and still appears physically fresh compared to many retired fighters. Because of that, a second fight would be more of a spectacle rather than a defining moment for their careers.
Shouldn't. But if Pacquiao were to beat Floyd in this exhibition or fight or whatever they're going to call it, do you think it shouldn't? But do you think that affects either one of their legacies?
Not at all.
No, that's
we talking about grandpa.
We talking about grandfathers fighting each other. That's what we're talking about.
It's not. Come on, man. Wait. I said, it's the zero line. Little bit.
No.
I'm not saying it's a transformative thing. But to say it doesn't affect it at all is probably not right, and I'll tell you why. Because if Pacquiao should win, for example, there will be those who say, well, when Mayweather beat him the first time, they were both past their primes. Mm-hmm. Certainly Pacquiao, who had been destroyed by Marquez, knocked out, was not the world-beating terror. Yeah, and the rotator cuff, but he was a world-beating terror 5 years before that, when he was running.
At the same time, Manny Pacquiao admitted that public perception could still shift slightly depending on the result. If he were somehow defeated, some fans might begin revisiting the original fight and questioning the timing of their first meeting. Critics could argue that when Floyd Mayweather Jr. won the initial bout, both fighters were already beyond their absolute peak years. Others might also recall that Pacquiao had previously suffered a devastating knockout loss, something some believe affected his momentum heading into that matchup. Still, he stressed that boxing history has already been written for both champions. The accomplishments of Mayweather and Pacquiao across multiple divisions cannot simply be erased by a late-career exhibition-style fight. Even if the result ends up surprising people, their legendary status in the sport will remain secure.
Also, Cotto and Hatton and beating them worse than Floyd was beating them, right? That's when we wanted to see the fight. Happens 5 years later.
Right. Yeah.
So people will point to that and say, and then when they were much older than that, but the first fight wasn't like...
They both was in their prime.
Yeah, and neither was it lopsided.
It wasn't lopsided.
Floyd Mayweather won decisively, but he'll even tell you that was one of his trickiest fights.
That's the only reason why I think it shouldn't be a second fight, because to me, Floyd handled him so easy.
But think about what
I know
Max said.
Pacquiao said otherwise.
But what I'm saying is, if Pacquiao wins a rematch, because I agree, it's like with an asterisk, but if he does that, it will affect people's thinking a little bit. Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard, it's not nearly the same. They were in their 30s, not their 80s or whatever these guys are in now, but Hearns got Leonard in the rematch, even though it was called a draw, and people look at Hearns a little differently vis-a-vis Sugar Ray Leonard than they did before that fight.
But that was more competitive, I would say. Floyd has a...
During his analysis, Luke Thomas explained that modern entertainment platforms constantly push huge volumes of content to keep audiences engaged. According to him, this non-stop flow of events can sometimes make everything feel less unique and a bit dull. He suggested that many people are naturally drawn toward nostalgia because earlier eras of sports and entertainment seemed more vibrant and memorable. While Luke Thomas admitted this view is mostly personal rather than supported by hard data, he still argued that something about modern life tends to make the past appear more exciting and appealing. When discussing the potential rematch between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao, Luke Thomas said the real motivation behind these fights often comes from the business side of the industry. He explained that companies like Netflix are eager to step into the live sports event market because Mayweather and Pacquiao still carry massive global recognition. Putting them together on one stage could attract a huge audience even long after both fighters have passed their prime years.
Consequence, everything feels a little dull. I don't know, but there just appears to be a great need among the broader public for nostalgia and for a different time, because that time felt more alive and colorful. I don't have hard data to support this. This is very much an anecdotal observation, but I do think it is true. There is something off generally about modern life that is making the past more palatable than the present. But reason number 3 is the one I actually really want to focus in on. I asked earlier, why is this fight being made? And the answer is, on some level, relatively obvious. As I mentioned, they're broke, blah, blah, blah. But the other one is like, why is Netflix making this? Well, they want to get into the big live event business, and Floyd still has some popularity, Manny still has some popularity, and then together they might be bigger than the sum of their parts individually, certainly at this.
Luke Thomas also highlighted how streaming has reshaped the economics of boxing. In the past, fans had to pay steep pay-per-view prices to watch major fights. For instance, the original Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Manny Pacquiao bout in 2015 cost around $100, creating a significant barrier for many viewers. However, when a fight appears on a streaming platform like Netflix, millions of subscribers can watch without paying extra. Because of this lower barrier, Luke Thomas believes promoters now prioritize recognizable names over purely competitive matchups. He pointed to events featuring Jake Paul and Mike Tyson as examples where massive audiences tuned in despite widespread criticism over fight quality. According to Luke Thomas, this trend raises an important question. Are streaming platforms genuinely improving boxing, or are they simply producing spectacles that attract attention without delivering the level of competition fans truly want to see?
This fight were on pay-per-view, I don't know if it would get made. I mean, in the end, it might actually get made, because these guys need money. There might be enough people who buy it to kind of make it work, or to, at a bare minimum, get an investor to put the money up. They lose their money, but some effort at making it is possible. But that would be a much harder slog. This fight doesn't have that problem. You don't have to pay for pay-per-view. Yes, you have to have a Netflix subscription, but a lot of people do. It's the biggest streaming platform in the world. The incentive structure in place, created by streaming platforms that are just looking for big name value, what will get people to tune in, what is a pairing that is available, just based on contractual availability.
During his discussion, Chael Sonnen explained that the financial figures often cited in boxing are not always as straightforward as people think. According to Sonnen, fighters can earn enormous paydays, but the structure of boxing finances is complex and frequently misunderstood by the public. He suggested that even though Floyd Mayweather Jr. reportedly earned massive sums during his career, the real financial picture behind the scenes can differ greatly from the image presented to fans. Sonnen also addressed claims involving Mayweather and, noting that Mayweather argued the network did not fully honor an agreement. However, Sonnen added that public sympathy for Mayweather can be limited because similar accusations have arisen in other situations. For example, controversy once emerged over payment issues involving Logan Paul after his exhibition bout with Mayweather.
And yeah, of course Floyd's broke. Would you be boxing if you weren't? And it's very tough to be sympathetic to Floyd. So Floyd is arguing that he was robbed by Showtime. That he had a deal that Showtime didn't argue. He's arguing this. And who's making that argument and where that goes? I'm just sharing, like, in public opinion, it's very hard to be sympathetic towards Floyd when Floyd, as a promoter, stiffed Logan Paul. Like, to argue this guy in boxing cheated me and I trusted him, when it's being argued that you, who were the trusted one, cheated another guy. It's very tough. And by the way, there's also headlines out there. Floyd Mayweather owes Logan Paul $1.3 million. No, he doesn't. Just to clear that up, no.
According to Chael Sonnen, the situation is often misunderstood. He explained that the reported debt was tied to a promotional company rather than Floyd Mayweather Jr. personally. In boxing, promotions operate as separate business entities, and financial obligations frequently belong to the company rather than the fighter himself. Because of this setup, Sonnen argues that the economics of boxing are extremely complex, even for experienced observers. Another point Sonnen raised involves multiple fight announcements. He explained that if a promoter schedules a bout, such as an event involving Mike Tyson, announcing another fight beforehand can disrupt the business arrangement. Sonnen noted that when Mayweather later announced a fight with Manny Pacquiao, it created complications for other potential matchups. Ultimately, Sonnen believes the situation highlights just how complicated and unpredictable the boxing industry can be. Contracts, promotions, and scheduling decisions often overlap, making it challenging for fans to fully understand the real story behind major fights featuring figures like Mayweather, Pacquiao, and Tyson.